He is hiding. Let's see. Early dusk is Nem's birthday. Okay. Hey, Vase. I have something for you. I happen to know you like strange devices. Vase turns the strange device over in his hands. Know thy enemy, he says in a low growl. But we will start working on your friendship. Not that you're a particularly pleasant person. Nem doesn't say anything as you approach. Here, I got an egg for you, because I know you like those. Nem gives you a little smile as she accepts the egg. Thank you for remembering my birthday, Selene. It's hard without calm here. Pang frowns as a unit of soldiers from the heliopause jog past her. An entire ship of thick-skulled, warmongering idiots, she sneers. What a relief. Surely all of our problems will simply go away if we fire lasers at them. We've read that one before. Hey, Rex. We've read that. Oh, I should be giving gifts to the others as well. We'll get a hug from him. Oh, he wants to talk now. You find Rex playing cards by himself in the lounge with an actual physical deck of cards. He looks up as you approach and visibly brightens when he sees you sitting up straight with his dog-like ears on alert. Well, hey, Selene, he exclaims. How's it hanging? Do you want to play a game with me? Sure, what kind of game? It's called Bottoms Up, Rex explains. We both play a card from our hand we think is lower than the one the other person is playing, and the person with the lowest card wins. If you win, you get the number of points that are on your card, plus you get to take the loser's card and add it to your hand. So you want to play a low card to win, but if you play your high cards at the right time, you can get a lot of points. It's a game of compromise. I used to play it all the time back on the Helio, but now everyone's here and, you know, realizing their big dream of being heroes and saving humanity, Rex says, rolling his eyes with a good-natured grin. Soldiers love to gamble, Rex says. You know, that thing that you use here, kudos? We can bet some kudos on it, or maybe we can bet something more interesting. 100 kudos, wow. 20, play for fun? Or what do you mean more interesting? I think I know what he means, but we'll ask just to know. Well, Rex says, his smile turning a little wolfish. Have you ever kissed anyone before? No, not yet. Really? Rex says. Wow, but you're so handsome and cool. He puts his hands on yours and leans in, looking at you with a sincere expression. I'd love to be your first kiss, Selene. Wait, do we kiss no matter who wins? Reasoning 21? No. You're basically a stranger. That's fine, Rex says. We don't have to. Rex tilts his head at you unbothered. So what do you want to bet? High or low? If I was the sort to save scum, I would probably bet high and save scum, but we'll just do 20 kudos and hope that we happen to win. I won't be super upset if we lose 20. Of course, Rex exclaims. Whatever you feel comfortable with is fine by me. He winks. Rex shuffles the cards and deals half the deck to each of you, and you begin to play the game. The best thing about this game is that it's not very hard to play, Rex says, scooping up his winning cards. It's all about how well you know the other person, and well, we don't know each other very well yet, so what do you want to know about me? Have you made any friends here? What do you do for fun? What are your plans for the future? Have you made any friends here? Oh yeah, of course, Rex says. He looks happy. All the adults are so much nicer than the ones I grew up with. Like, they care so much about how and why they do stuff. I love being around them. And the other teens, like, whoa, you guys are all so cool. Anemone and Tang are so passionate. Cal's a solid sweetheart. And Mars is like a galactic level hottie. Wow. He trails off lost in thought. Oh, and that Dis guy seems interesting too. Just nearly forgot about Dis. What do you like to do for fun? Talk to people mostly, Rex says, and puts down a low card to win the hand. I like to see what everyone is doing and help them with stuff if I can. I just really like being around other people. I like doing whatever they're doing. Oh, and cuddling, of course. I love cuddling, and running, and chasing stuff. He rubs the soft inner part of his ear and smiles sheepishly. And what are your plans for the future? Rex blinks at you. Oh wow, big question. I don't know, I think if I stayed on the heliopause, I probably would have ended up becoming a soldier like everyone else. But planet side? Rex smiles to himself as he puts down a high card. I can do anything. I've always liked making things with my hands, and I like to make other people happy. Maybe I can do something with that. Enough talking. Let's just play the game. You play out the rest of the cards, staying fairly even in points until Rex is left with only one card, and you have two. You're trailing, but not by much. If you play your low card for an easy win, you'll gain enough points to make it a draw. If you gamble on the slightly higher card in your hand, you might lose entirely, but you could win. If our empathy was higher, we could check Rex for tells, but our empathy is not something we've put really any effort into. We're going to play high and hope for the win. You put down your higher of your two cards, and Rex shouts, "Are you for real?" He laughs. "That was a really risky play. You're lucky I only had a high card left." He turns over his card, and it's even higher than yours. You win the game by a comfortable margin. Let's collect our winnings. Rex links your holopalm and transfers you your winnings. It's a good thing I love helping so much, he laughs. You can rack up kudos pretty fast. Nice. Alright, so let's give presents to our new Helio friends because they are really behind. So he likes logs, and Nomi likes crystals and devices, but we don't have enough devices, so crystals. To just try and build their relationships up so they aren't as far behind. Okay, where's everyone else? Mars is up here, okay. Mars claps in delight as you approach. "Selene," she calls. "Today I had a conversation with someone I haven't known literally since the day I was born. It was incredible." She claps her hands to her chest. "They didn't know about the time I played Ingenuity in the creche play and forgot all my lines, or the time Cal's pants fell down, or the food fight we had in the Strato mess hall. They didn't know anything. We just talked," she exclaimed. "We didn't run out of things to say." How neat to meet someone just new. Cal is still sleeping. And our mom... your mom frowns up at the wreckage of the heliopause. "Damn, that thing did a number on our greenhouses," she mutters. "What else can you expect from soldiers?" She turns to you with a grim expression. "Don't trust anyone whose livelihood depends on conflict," she says. "To a soldier, everything looks like a war." That's harsh. Somewhat true. You catch your parents muttering about the new governor and people from the heliopause. Your mom seems to be upset. The word fascist catches your ear. This might be your chance to ask some of the burning questions you've had. Who are those new people? Is Governor Lum some kind of space cop? Why did the Helios know about Mom? How come you just let them take over? Or no burning questions here. Who are these new people? Your dad looks startled and tries to muster a friendly smile. You overheard us, eh, kiddo? Your mom gives him a warning sideways glance. Listen, Selene. He hesitates and looks around nervously as if afraid you're being watched. You're just going to have to trust us adults on this one. There are things you're still too young to understand. I am not too young. Okay, some rebellion. Your mom stiffens, but your dad motions to calm her. I thought the same about myself once, he says gravely. I was wrong. The Helios came here just like us, looking for a better life, he tells you. Some of them had other reasons too, but now that they're here, we have to learn how to work together. When your mother and I were young, on Earth, we learned a hard lesson. He gives a grim smile. We learned a lot of hard lessons. One was that it's safer to be led by one dangerous person than to be attacked by an army of them. He lets that sink in. Another was that sometimes when adults tell you not to worry, you should listen to them. Go on, enjoy your youth. He gestures towards the heliopause. Go get to know some of those new kids. I'm sure you'll find they're a lot like you. Before you can say another word, they're called back to work. There's still so much to be done to rebuild the farms and geoponics greenhouses, and you can see people from the Helio helping your parents. Maybe they aren't all that bad. Alright, we're gonna have to relax again. For whatever reason, I keep thinking geoponics is on the right because it was. Even though you know, Cal and our parents and everything is over here, so clearly the greenhouses are here on the left. It will just take time to sink in. Alright, relax in the park. It's another event to upgrade our Bricky. The garden is full of people from the heliopods. They move around in clumps of 2 or 3, gasping in awe at every new flower. The helio is much faster than the stratospheric was, so they spend a lot less time in space to get here. Their memories of Earth are much more fresh. Again, you're giving me 3s and 4s to get rid of. Where are the 0s and 1s? Those are both good cards, so they can stay. Vertumnalia Festival is a welcome day for normalcy in an otherwise chaotic year. Despite some lingering rivalry between the two factions, Vertumnalia is a chance for the Helios and Stratos to come together and appreciate the bounty of the planet. At least, that's what the adults say. As Governor Lum takes the stage to address the colony, you can't help but notice the crowd has segregated itself according to their ship of origin. Rex shoots you away from over on the Strato side, and Dobie makes a silly face. Vase is surrounded by other young soldiers, all looking sharp in their Heliopod's uniform. With Tangent standing beside you, you wonder if the two ships will ever feel like one colony. A fanfare plays over the square's announcement system. Lum's honor guard do a complex drill with their drone rifles. "Greetings, people of Vertumna," Lum says, his voice ringing out over the square. "We may be far from our beautiful Earth, but we can still celebrate and be thankful for what we have here. We've worked hard to save this beleaguered little colony from the brink of destruction, and should be proud of our work. The Helios chair. Your side of the square is more quiet. I know some of you have been asking, Lum, how are you going to do it all by yourself? How are you going to run this colony, solve everyone's problems, turn this planet into a paradise, and look this good?" Lum strikes a pose to a smattering of polite applause. "Well, I have the answer for you," he continues. "The old council made a lot of bad choices, like illegally leaving Earth. But I believe in second chances, so I've appointed the original department heads to my own council, Lum's Council 2.0. Better not disappoint me," he laughs, and makes finger guns at the department heads at the foot of his podium. "Stay on your toes, Stratos." "I also want to promise everyone here today that we're going to make Vertumna safe for humans," Lum says. "The next time those bastard Xenos attack, we're going to blow them to so many little pieces, there won't be enough to left wipe off our boots. We've already got the defenses," he says, gesturing broadly at the new, taller, thicker walls, "and we're building homes for everyone, homes where people can raise children again, knowing that our military men and women are keeping us safe." Big cheers from both sides this time. Some of the colonists around you even have tears in their eyes, especially those who lost family in the last attack. Lum goes on for a while, lionizing the Heliopod's military strength and casting subtle digs at your failed colony experiment. Finally, the crowd disperses to set up the square for the afternoon festivities, some traditional and some new. At the tables, Aunt Anne and the kids are setting out the spread for dinner. There's an unimaginable amount of food, thanks to the Heliopod's large ration surplus, and the piles upon piles of xeno meat from the hunting parties for those who can stomach it. Anne is all smiles, clearly making an effort to move on as love mandated, despite still mourning for her lost son Calm. But not even the festive atmosphere can force a smile onto Nem's face. "Come on, it's party time. We should be mourning, not celebrating, or who do those Helio jerks think they are?" I mean, I get the mourning, but it's also been 6 months. So... yeah, it's a festival. Come on, it's party time. Which, obviously, Anemone is upset by. You encourage Nem not to dwell on the past. Things are looking up. Now's the time to bond with our new colonists and pave the way for a bright future. Nem just stares at the tureen of stew in her arms. Then she sets it down and wipes her eyes and walks away. I didn't realize we were specifically talking only to Nem. Like, as a group, it's party time, but she did lose her brother 6 months ago, and to her, I get the point of mourning. So, oops. The chime sounds to announce that the square is set up for the annual competitions. What do you choose this year? So, we no longer have bot wrestling, what was it? Bot wrestling, science fair, and whatever the other talent show one was that I never did because my creativity is terrible. Now it's Xeno wrangling, where we're actually wrestling Xeno, trivia, bake-off, or the talent show. We can actually do the bake-off because our organizing's high enough. So I'm going to go with trivia because we're mainly going down the mental stuff. I guess we do have good combat, but no, we'll go with trivia. Instance is too busy to organize the science fair, so you do a Helio tradition instead, Trivia Night, hosted by Congruence. You, Tangent, and Domi all sign up. I missed the science fair, Tangent grumbles, but I've been memorizing facts to prepare. So we get bonus friendship with Tangent and Nomi, and more loyalty. It is a hard challenge. +1 to blue cards, first collectible use is free. Okay. Nah. That wild wouldn't be super useful at the moment. Sure. You're going to turn into a 6. 7, 6. You will also be a 6. That's not helpful. We have no gem cards to boost these. So we could go 7, 6, 5. Or to get a big straight. Sure. Then what? You're gonna be a 5. Ooh, we're going to have potentially a gem card, which will bring this up to a 6. So 6, 5. You could be a 5. I don't have a 4. I definitely want to use this one. Because +1 skill is always great. I don't think I'm going to pull off a straight. So what if instead we do 5, you're a 5, 5, something like that. And we get to use this once for free. There we go. Barely meet our goal, but that's good enough for me. +3 reasoning. Nice. You get most of the questions right. All that studying and watching holovids definitely paid off. Nomi shrugs off their loss. Tang tries to, but you can tell she's actually kind of ticked off she didn't win. After the festivities, the mood in the colony is a lot lighter. You see people smiling easier and often see mixed groups of Helio and Stratos socializing together. It feels like the first time people have actually let themselves relax. Mid-dust. We have already seen that one. Hey Sprout, your dad greets you. Lots of work to do getting this flying umbrella off the ground again, but I always have time for you. He laughs and rubs his face. No one from the Helio understands anything about putting plants in the dirt. They're trying, though. Hal is still napping. Let's see, so we are in mid-dust. That is Nomi's birthday. Cool. We'll head over there in a moment. Maybe we deserve it. This mutters. The new ship didn't save us, it just delayed the inevitable. When their food and weapons runs out, we'll be back to where we started. Didn't they learn anything? Mars is poring over a real book with real paper. You crowd around to take a look at it. This belongs to that new kid, Nomi, Mars says, lilting her voice like a question. I told them I was looking for someone to draw designs for my new fashion line, and they just handed me this. The book is filled with character designs, giant robots and pictures of characters kissing. It's so good, Mars says, turning the pages. This is what we need here, people with talent. Let's see. Rex is still not used to life on the planet. A base. Unless you're here because you realize Rex is a coward who'd rather muck around than defend his own home, get out of my sight, Base growls. I didn't have time for weak-willed deadweights like him, and right now, that includes you. Wow. We've read that one. I wonder who will teach Professor Hal's classes now, Tang muses, tapping her fingers against her chin. Age is certainly no indicator of ability. Perhaps I may be called upon to share what I know. She tilts her head, as if a thought has just come to her. Of course, it's such a shame he's gone. Nomi is running around making pew-pew noise. Oh, yep, we've read that one. We have a present for you. So you like the crystals. Oh, Nomi exclaims, making grabby hands at the pretty crystal. Happy birthday to me! I can't believe you remembered. Thank you. You find Nomi in the lounge, flanked by 2 holoscreens and doodling a sketchbook with real paper. One holoscreen is playing an animated kids show, while the other is a wall of text that looks like it might be a translation guide of some kind. Nomi's attention moves between the 3 easily. When they see you, they jump and quickly close their holoscreens, sitting up straight and clutching their sketchbook to their chest. Oh, hi, Selene, they giggle, rubbing the back of their head charmingly. How you doing? It's okay, you can watch cartoons here, or aren't we a little old for cartoons, or is that in a different language? It's okay, you can watch cartoons here. I assume she's watching, are watching some sort of anime. But yeah, you can watch cartoons here. Nomi relaxes a little, breathing an exaggerated sigh of relief. Good, because I really like cartoons. Nomi sets their sketchbook aside and looks around conspiratorially. I thought you were gonna bust me for jailbreaking my holopad. Is my voice stuttering? Pseudonym? Is it the stream, or... Not hearing back from Pseudonym. I mean, the stream is looking good on my end, but obviously I can't hear any audio issues with it. Well, I'm going to keep going. Hopefully Pseudonym will get back to me on whatever issue the stream might be having. I thought you were going to bust me for jailbreaking my holopad, they say. All the Hilo kids have restrictions on what we can watch and for how long, but you guys have so many more cartoons than we had. Nomi throws their arms in the air. Like the first season of Turbo Girl Hyperjet Transform. What? What's that? I love Turbo Girl Hyperjet Transform. Where'd you learn how to do that? Or that sounds like total garbo. I love Turbo Girl Hyperjet Transform. What? Nomi cries, slapping their hands to their cheeks. Really? It's the best cartoon ever made. What else has schoolgirls who look like aircraft from the waist down battling evil aliens while dealing with the stresses of high school life? You have to agree. You were pretty fond of the arc in the 3rd season where Kamiya and Otoko disagreed about whether Haruka could truly be considered a hyperjet if she was part helicopter. The Helio Media Archives only had season 2 though, 2 through 9, and only 3 of the OVAs. Nomi says, puffing their cheeks out. I can't believe in the 4th OVA, Flight Captain Yumiko gets captured by the aliens and brainwashed into thinking she's been an alien sleeper agent the whole time. You hadn't seen the 1st season? Nomi shrugs and pokes one finger into their cheek. Spaceship kids make do. You don't have to know everything about something you like in order to call yourself a fan, Nomi continues. Just liking it with all your heart is good enough. Nomi laughs and flips over their sketchbook, showing off their drawings. I was drawing some fan art for the show, they say. Well, it's kind of fan art. Okay, it's really more like if I was a character in Hyper Girl Turbojet Transform. It looks good, keep at it. We don't have enough empathy to ask what kind of aircraft they would be. Will you be an artist when you grow up, or this is a waste of time? It looks good, keep at it. Aw, thanks, Selene, Nomi says, shooting you a stunning smile. I will, for sure. Kind of lost track of where we'd gotten in our rounds of talking to people. Tang is deep in conversation with Chief Engineer Instance, conferring over a holoscreen. Tang says something that makes Instance smile and pat her on the shoulder, who then gestures to close her holopalm and walks away. You approach Tang, who looks unusually flustered. Oh, hello, Selene, she says, the tip of her ears pink. Do you have need of my assistance? No. Actually, I think we circled around. I think Nomi was actually our last one to talk to, if I'm remembering. So I know I said no more exploring, but I also hate leaving locations, come on, with events left in the boss event not cleared. So yeah, I'm gonna go back in. The boss events are where the story really moves forward, and so not going to it is kind of a waste. But we should be nearly there. And then we could potentially go back to some of these afterwards to just deal with the last few events that we've skipped. Let's see. I think we went over here and we cleared everything out of this area, if I'm recalling correctly. Yeah. So then we head down here. There was that one, which we skipped as well. Were we like one event from the boss? Because that would be sad. We just got stuck there. Alright. Some cool items. Yeah. So we can just go straight here to the boss. We were one event away. Awesome. You've been saved a few times from certain doom, or at least discomfort, and it can't have been a coincidence. Something or someone has taken an interest in you. You're being followed. You're beginning to get a feel for this place and its dangers, so the next time you hear the mournful hoot of a passing air squid, you head towards it instead of away, keeping an eye out for anyone watching you from the cliffs. There. Just as you think you're going to have to grab its tentacles and fly it, like a kite to get your savior to show up, you see a shadowy humanoid figure appearing over a nearby ridge. You make eye contact and both freeze. His almond-shaped eyes widen in his not-quite-human face, and he slips out of sight again. Track him carefully. Rather than rush after him, you use your tracking skills to carefully follow his path and sneak up on him. You pounce like a manticore, and the two of you tumble to the ground. You pin his arms. You get a good look at his face for the first time. The long, delicate features, the odd tone of his skin, almost purple, and his glittering alien eyes. Before he can answer your questions, you jump off him and back away. What is he? He brushes the dirt from his clothes and stands up tall. Very tall. You have to take another step back to get a good look at him. You catch a glimpse of a pale purple wrist under his tattered black sleeves, delicate like bird bones. I am a gardener, he purrs, and you're trespassing on my planet. Now that you can see all of him, you confirm he's definitely not human. Besides the purple tint to his skin, He's also just constructed differently. Human, but not. And taken as a whole, those little discrepancies add up to something that is decidedly alien. You're an alien? He laughs, a light, infectious chuckle that sounds more animal than human. It goes on for a bit too long. You think he might be poking fun at you. Actually, you're the alien here, if you think about it. You do think about it. He's right. He jumps up onto a large rock and crouches, eyeing you thoughtfully. Let's make a deal, he says. He speaks with an odd inflection, putting the wrong stresses on things, but the words themselves come easily enough to him. I'm not supposed to talk to you, he says. It's against the rules. But since you've caught me, I can grant you one wish. He smiles mischievously. Is this a joke? I wish to know more about you. I wish for 1,000 kudos. I wish you'd stop laughing at me. I wish to know more about you. I think at the moment, being the explorer and scientist that we are, yeah. He gives you a sly look. In time, Selene, I hope. He pauses and his eyes unfocus for a moment. He stares straight ahead, unblinking. Then he slowly stretches like a cat and stands up. Well, this has been fun, but I'm afraid, duty calls. He doffs an invisible hat towards you. My name is Symbiosis, by the way, or Sim, if you like. He jumps behind a rock and disappears. Literally, he disappeared. You search all around and can find no trace of where he might have gone, or how. Stars, you just met an alien. Yeah, glad we got that event. That's a cool one. We met our first alien on this planet, like real intelligent alien life. The path ahead is blocked by a field of snaking vines and brambles. They're flowering, enormous, happy blossoms swaying in the shimmering heat waves. You could push through them, but your hull bomb beeps a warning. A radiation warning. These flowers seem to be highly radioactive, far too radioactive for the mild shielding your suit provides. You might be able to push through if you don't mind feeling the effects of radiation sickness until you can detox in a medbay. Well, if it doesn't kill you outright, radiation is unpredictable. Turn around. I don't know what's over there, but radiation poisoning sounds bad. I might try it after we've done all the other events in the area. Let's see. Yeah, this was the event I was thinking of that was here. You're scaling a huge rock plateau when you're suddenly overcome with an incredible feeling of peace. You've never felt anything like this. You literally feel lighter, like all of your troubles have been lifted away. The feeling is stronger when you touch the rocky surface and you realize it's radiating from the rock. And Dis is here. Dis is sunning himself on top of the rock, stripped down to his shirt. He looks up at you, looks up as your shadow falls over him. Oh, he says slowly. You found it too, huh? He shades his eyes from the sun as he looks up at you. You feel it, right? Like, you just feel happy here? That's why I haven't told anyone about this place, he says. That's how they get you, you know? He says, once they know you love something, they can use it to control you. Who's they? Paranoid much, or that's deep? Who's they? Dis gestures lazily. You know, people, the world, life, he says. I like this place because it feels like it's somewhere where I'm not just a cog in a machine, you know? You're going to keep it a secret, though, right? Dis asks. I don't want this place dug up and studied. It'll ruin it. He scowls. People always ruin things, especially researchers. Some things you don't need to understand. I promise to keep your dumb rock a secret. You have to trust people, Dis, or okay, it's our secret. It's our secret. You do take a few readings, though, just because. All data is important. You mark down the location, but fudge the coordinates, so anyone they send out afterwards will get lost. You wonder if the rock is natural. Animals seem to really like it. As you're taking readings, you watch a swarm of dwarves' mouths basking on the rock as well, just like Dis. When you lie down on the rock beside Dis, letting the strange magic fill you with an incredible sense of peace, love, and unity with the universe. Ooh, and that got us a new perk, Shop Gadgets, new cards in the depot for engineering level 2. Nice. Oh, hi Sim. You're following an animal path through the underbrush when a change in the ambient noise makes you stop in your tracks and listen. You get the feeling you're not alone. By now, you're getting used to the feeling of being watched. I know you're there, Sim. Wait and see what happens, or just leave me alone, Sim. I know you're there, Sim. You're answered with silence, and you have the fleeting thought that if you're right, you probably sound pretty cool. And if you're not, you're talking to yourself in the jungle like an idiot. At least no one's around to see. A tall form steps out casually from behind a rock. Why, hello again, says Sim, smiling. He bows to you like a courtier, a gesture that looks perfectly elegant on him, but nonetheless carries a deep sense of still being alien. You take the chance to get a good look at him. He's like a human, but not. Not just genetically enhanced, he's a whole different species, an alien. A gardener, whatever that means. It's a lot to take in. You look, he puts a finger to his chin in an exaggerated expression of contemplation, like a wide-eyed sugar bug. His hand slithers around the sides of his head, like he's trying to get a better look at you. You find your voice and croak. Why do you keep following me? Nobody believes that you exist is randomly crossed off, I don't know why. Because usually it would say what is stopping it. And I haven't told anyone about you. I'll say, why do you keep following me? Because, my sugar bug, you're about to stumble into a nest of young snapbladders. I thought you might need rescuing again. Sure enough, you realize you can hear their mewling up ahead. Even the nestlings can be deadly in numbers. And with that warning, I believe my job here is done. Sim purrs and turns to leave. Wait. You call it to him, but he disappears into the forest without a trace. No, he's not. He's right there. Can I just keep talking to him? You almost walk straight into Sim's feet before you see the man. Watch out, Sim says from where he's seated on a branch above you. You should be more cautious. It's a dangerous planet. Take a closer look at him. With our perception 40. It's only fair that you observe Sim in the same manner that he often observes you, intently, and while hidden behind a tree. You pretend to leave, then double back and watch him from a short distance away. You hope you'll see what he does when you aren't around. Sim looks like a human, if an alien had to draw a human entirely from written description. Too tall, too long, his eyes too black, his whole posture too weirdly attentive. His hair is the most interesting part, so perfectly kept for someone who seems to live in the wilderness, and sometimes you swear it moves in ways hair shouldn't, like the first time you saw a time-lapse video of a flower turning toward the sun. You watch in silence for nearly 10 minutes, but Sim does absolutely nothing. He tilts his head like he's listening to the wind. Then he leans over to stare at a random patch of grass for far too long. Eventually he turns to stare straight at the spot you're hiding. He purrs. Do you like what you see, sugar bug? I'm just looking. He tosses his long hair over his shoulder and extends his hands, baring himself for your inspection. It is not a crime to be curious, he says. Why, I find myself very curious about you. You look your fill, now that he's offered. You find yourself constantly drawn back to his deep silver eyes and the hypnotic motion of his hair, and within moments you find yourself more relaxed. Sim's faint smile fills your vision, blanking out the rest of your senses. Do not be alarmed, he says, his voice sounding like it's coming from the bottom of a well. I have the ability to induce a mild sedative effect in organic creatures. I find it useful in reducing their cortisol levels so that I may tend to them more easily. If you find it soothing, I would be happy to use it on you at your request. You have simply to ask. Wow, I can just keep going through all of these. Here, I brought you something. Let's give him a gift. Strange device. See if he can tell us anything about it. Sim examines the device for a moment, then hands it back to you. I think you'd better hold on to this, Selene, he says. You may need it later. Okay, and the next perception challenge. Take an even closer look at Sim, because our perception is past 80. Could you help me calm down? Would that lower my stress? Maybe? This time, you'll catch Sim doing something weird and alien. You send a survey drone to follow him, and watch through your holopalm as he heads into the forest. There's not really a forest here, but sure. He comes to a still pond and crouches by it, staring intently into the water. Then, with a flick of his wrist, he snatches an eel from the depths and bites its head clean off. Well, that was weird. Then he looks up at the drone and gives you a jaunty wave as if he knew it was there all along. Wait, does Sim usually eat raw living animals, or was he just doing it because he knew you were trying to catch him doing something weird? So let's hit up the rest of the events and then try the calming effect and see if that will calm us down. The flies here are awful. They come out in the heat of the day and buzz around you incessantly. They don't bite, but they seem to want something from you. Maybe the water or salt from your sweat? You hope they aren't laying eggs. This calls the most annoying ones rod flies, because they're like long flexible sticks with a bunch of wings. They swarm in clouds around your face no matter how hard you try to shoo them away. He says they remind him of Mars, but there are other ones too, like the one that's just a big eyeball with a couple pairs of little wings. They make a loud buzzing sound, and are always just out of reach when you try to swat them away. Today, your personal nemesis is one of these eye flies. There are a whole bunch of them earlier, but only one has persisted. It's been following you, staring at you all morning. You and Dis have been batting at it for an hour, but it's a fast dodger. Dis has finally given up and just plods forward. It even lands on his head, but he doesn't care. Swat that eye fly. Perception challenge. Sure. We're probably going to end up hitting Dis. +1 to red cards and 5 kudos if we equal the goal. Yeah. Six, 5, 4, 3. That's going to turn into a 3. Oh, that turned it into a 4. Ugh. We need to get to 26. There we go. 26. So we get the 5 kudos. The eye fly is like the size of a human eyeball and made of concentric rings of rainbow hues: black, yellow, green, blue, and purple. You find yourself staring right back at it. You wonder if the rings have something to do with the light refraction. You let it land on your arm. And then you strike. Ha! Got it. Squashed. 10 minutes later, there is a new fly following you. Alright. We've got those events. There were a couple back towards the start. And then I have to decide if I want to do the radiation one. Utopia sent you and Dis to study one of the large crystal outcroppings. Up close, you can't help but sense that they're alive somehow. They're angular and hard to the touch, but they have a sort of sponginess and warmth to them that's a little disconcerting. They emit a humming noise. Dis pokes one with his finger. Weird, it almost looks like they're breathing. Let's study them. Alright. So that's going to turn things red, and red cards get +1. That's neat. Guess we'll start there. That turned it into the 7 into a 9 because it's the highest value. But, oh well. Huh. I was curious because all cards become blue, but this turns it red. Apparently the slot turning red gets priority. Yeah, something like that. Nice. Maximum score, always good. You notice that they hum the loudest at midday, under full sun. The few crystals that have grown under shaded outcroppings are less vibrant than the others. They kind of look like convergent domain tech, don't they? Dis says. Like the organic obsidian, or the crystals embedded in the ruins. Try blocking the crystal's sun, try uprooting one, try breaking one, or leaving one. We'll try just blocking the crystal's sun. On a hunch, you cover one up with some ferns. After an hour, it stops vibrating. Something deep inside it has gone dormant. The crystal turns clear, like the ones that were shadowed naturally. When you remove the fronds, its color returns. Oh, so it's like photosynthesis, Dis exclaims. But it's not a plant, right? I don't want to break one. We can try uprooting one? They do indeed have roots, and they're really tough. You dig around the base of one and expose them so that you can see. They're made of the same glass, but rough and frosted, and warm. Much warmer than the surrounding soil. The roots go down deeper than you can dig. You won't be able to remove one without breaking it. Well, I don't really want to break it, so we'll just leave it alone. You take some more readings and measure the distance between the crystal clusters and the number in each cluster. Hopefully, all these numbers will be useful to Utopia. And then we had one more event back this way. Actually, no, it was over here. The sun goes behind a cloud and you feel a light splattering of rain. It sizzles into the dry, hot ground around you, providing a little relief from the heat of the day. Then you realize you don't see a single cloud in the sky ahead of you, and it almost never rains in the western resting ridges. The plants here rely on nighttime dew for moisture. Just run. You bolt for cover with your hands thrown over your head. You don't even care what's up there. You just know that that was no rain. Well, that was fun. Alright. So, I don't think I want to deal with radiation, because that sounds dangerous. So, instead, let's go talk to Sim and see what that option does, because if it does lower our stress, that'll be cool. Could you help me calm down? Of course, Sim murmurs, stepping into your space, his cool hands alight on your cheeks, tilting your head to look in his eyes. Within moments, you feel the burdens of your day lift off your shoulders, like a balloon floating away into the sky. Oh, 5 stress. Your consciousness reasserts itself sometime later, and you find yourself held in Sim's long arms. You blink away the brain fog and pull yourself together, thanking him for the experience. It was my pleasure, Selene. Stay safe out there. Alright. So yeah, we'll just head to the end of the area, which was this way, and not deal with the radioactive location. Because I assume that will either give us a ton of stress, or give us an injury, or some other problem that I don't want to deal with. Where was the final event? I thought it was around here somewhere. Or did it go away and I have to go all the way back to the beginning? Or I can push through. Push through. What could possibly go wrong? 18 stress and injured. That is a shame. An hour later, you realize your mistake as the radiation illness sets in. Yuck, you'll be sick for days after this. We'll need radiation treatment when you return. What does injured do? Physical skill increases reduced by 1. Heal by relaxing. That's not terrible. Just means that until I need to relax soon, I should avoid physical tasks. Hey, another boss event. That's neat. This is, I think, the real boss event. Expeditions has been collecting energy readings from the area, tracing the invisible ley lines of power, like the one from the thumper that brought you here in the first place. They've pointed you to this cave, a nexus of power at the convergence of many lines. You can feel the energy is different here, like a barely perceived hum that prickles up the back of your neck, like something is watching you. It's likely this was some sort of important place to the convergent domain, Utopia says, leaning on her glider. I've sent teams through, but it gets mighty tight in there. I'm hoping you and Dis might have better luck wriggling in there, she continues. Might be caves inside open up again, and if they do, take plenty of readings and report back to me. Dis is vibrating beside you on nearly the same frequency as the weird power fluctuations. This is the real deal, he whispers, mostly to himself. It's hard to shake the feeling of being watched. In fact, you're sure. Oh yes, of course, there he is. You can see Sim's mysterious form up there, watching you from a nearby ridge. He holds up his hand in greeting when he sees you looking. Utopia nods and leaves you to it. What's the plan? Talk to Sim first, prep your caving equipment, enter the cave. We'll talk to Sim first. You ensure that Utopia is good and gone before you kick up your glider and go talk to Sim, telling Dis that you're going to do a quick scout of the area. Sim looks delighted when you land beside him. You're getting warmer, he sings songs. Hot, very hot. He rests his weight on his hands and kicks his feet over the ledge. I'm not supposed to tell you anything, he confides, but it's just so interesting to watch you figure things out. Humans. So curious and so smart. You're not getting anything useful out of him. You return to Dis, telling him that everything looks all clear. Let's prep our equipment. This time, you get headlamps, and a little recording drone with a floodlight attachment. A tiny buzzing flying thing that circles your heads and sometimes illuminates what you want to look at. It's intelligent, which means that it won't just do what you want. Dis bats at it in annoyance. We should have gained a perception, but we don't because we're injured. Utopia also left you an anti-grav belt with a warning to practice extreme caution while spelunking down there. They make you lighter so you can climb more easily and won't hurt yourself as much as if you fall. Let's enter the cave. The narrow entrance leads to a bigger room that animals have clearly used as a den. It's enormous, with glowing mushrooms on the walls and piles of bones in some crevices. In some places, the walls are made of iridescent convergent domain obsidian, like this was once a great hall millennia ago. You can feel a cool breeze coming from somewhere, but it'll be tricky to find in the dark. Let's find a way deeper. Alright, 10 kudos if we equal a goal. Even better. Door? Huh. So that's not going to be the highest. Yeah, I just don't have a lot of great cards here. Oh. Hopefully we draw something good here. That's not looking great. Huh. I mean, that's good. +1 and we turn something red. +2 to a card. Redraw our hand. +1 to change to a card and change it to blue. +1 to a card and change the suit. Alright, what if we redrew our hand? However that works. There we go. Some bigger numbers. think it actually is lower because we had a nice straight that we don't have anymore. But I could do something like this. Give it a +1 and turn it red, but no, because then it would get an additional +1 for being red. Oh, that's definitely not what I want. What if I give it a +1 and turn it red, which I think will give it a +2 total. Because if I can turn this into a 3, that'll be a pretty good straight. Yeah, so that turns it into a 2. Now it's a 3, which gets us to 39. Let's see. So only 4 in a row gives us 9 versus 13. So I'm thinking I could take one of these cards and just put a bunch of logs or something, or bobber fruit or something to just raise a value really high. Yeah. So if I just put a bunch of flowers and bobber fruit on this card, it'll drop the straight down by 4, but particularly this one will get a +6 if I can get it over 6 points. Good work. And I've got lots of these cards. It's excessive, but I want to win. There we go. Now we're all the way up to 46 out of 49. Just a little bit more. There we go. And we meet the goal. We have succeeded the challenge, so we get the extra 10 kudos. $22 kudos for being popular and all that stuff. Nice. You find the source of the breeze by tossing some fine sand into the air and watching with which way the dust blows. It's a very tight crack. Good thing you and Dis are so small. You squeeze through and have to shimmy along on your bellies for about 10 meters, pushing your gear ahead of you. It's uncomfortable, but Dis's excitement draws you on. Past the crack, there are fewer signs of animals. The walls are smooth-grown obsidian, which has a kind of melted rainbow oil slick look. There are deeply carved glyphs on the walls at various intersections, like room designations or street names, you wonder? And other kinds of basins, alcoves grown into the rock, full of odd protrusions, all ancient and worn and inexplicable now. It feels homey. You come to realize the convergent domain must have lived underground. That's why there are so few ruins on the surface. As you follow the cave complex down, it's clear this used to be a well-traveled path. The corridors branching off to other places are now blocked off as if a big earthquake had rattled this whole area. Only this one main path is still clear. It's too convenient to be a coincidence. The floor of the path, the floor of the cave slopes downward like a slide, and it's quite slippery. My perception's good, so I will pay attention to my footing. You follow the cave system down, 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 all the way to what must be the bottom of the cliffs. You have to climb down a 3-story wall in the last section, and are grateful to your anti-grav belt for making it easier. You're still tired, though. You can see dim light below. Daylight? You emerge into a hidden valley totally surrounded by tall cliffs. Did you just come down all that way? You're surrounded by the ruins of convergent domain buildings in much better conditions than the windswept ones on the surface. It's perfectly still here and as quiet as space itself. What was this? Dis whispers reverentially. Some sort of converger facility? And it feels so familiar. You remember this place from your dreams and feel a throbbing sense of importance that is a bit unnerving. Something momentous happened to you here, or will happen to you someday. You poke around a little, then call Utopia and give her your coordinates. She swings down on her glider, with extra ones for you and Dis tethered behind it. You're happy you won't have to climb all the way back up. She whistles. Great find, kids. This place didn't show up on any of our aerial scans. It took me a while to find a route in. You look bushed, she says. I'll stick around and get some readings, but you head on back to the depot and get some rest. Don't worry, we aren't going to push on without you. Yeah, I think we need to just head home. Alright, some more perception and some more engineering. Moving on to late dust. Hey, Dis. You and Dis are sitting on the tailgate of one of the expedition vehicles, shelling bobber seeds with your teeth and spitting the hard bits on the ground. Now and then, one of you points out something funny a passing surveyor does, or spots something under the mush trees. This is the easiest way to talk to Dis, by not talking at all. Dis has always been like this. Being isolated from the other kids has made him thoughtful. Out of everyone, you think Dis might understand about Sim, and be able to keep the secret. Do you tell him? I trust him. You tell Dis that you saw something interesting when you were out on expedition. Dis perks up immediately, turning to look at you. Yeah? He asks, what? I meant an alien, Dis. His jaw drops, and his face goes an interesting color. You're worried for a moment that he's going to be upset with you for teasing him, but no way. Dis hisses, leaning in. But I met an alien too, Selene. What was yours like? Like us, but an alien? You describe Sim. His long dark hair, his big eyes, his faintly purple skin, the way he never seems to answer any of your questions. Dis stares at your face. Wait, you met Sim too? You nod, and Dis's hands fly to his hair. He said he met another human boy, but he didn't say who it was. It was you this whole time. He made me swear I wouldn't tell anyone else, Dis says earnestly. It's a weird expression on him. He said if other humans find out about the gardeners, we'd all be in a lot of danger. So, we can talk about Sim, but we have to keep it a secret. What will the grown-ups think? So the Western Ridge ruins? Or, okay, this will be our secret. So the Western Ridge ruins? Yeah. I'm sure the gardeners are related to those ruins somehow. He shakes his head. I asked him if the gardeners built what used to be there. He said that the ruins built the gardeners. He's always speaking in riddles. Well, what will the grown-ups think? We just get laughed at. Dis scowls, and the chief engineer would probably just want to experiment on him. We can't let that happen. Alright, hey base. Let's see, late dust. Is that anyone's birthday? That is Cal's birthday. Okay. Yep. Go bother Rex. Nem. Yep. We've read that one. We've read that one. Bunch of repeats. Know me. I would love to play Laser Fable with you, but I don't get the option. Rex takes a deep lungful of air, followed by a bunch of shorter sniffs. It smells so good here, he says. Well, okay, not good, but it's sure interesting for someone with a good sense of smell, like me. Rex laughs and scratches behind his soft ears. What do you think about the new kids? Mars asks. Most of them are very, soldiery, and I suppose that's okay if you like that sort of thing. Rex is a total hottie, though, and from what I hear, she makes a significant expression with her eyebrows, conveying something. Well, she continues, I just think I have a chance with him. Hey, Cal. Kyle is kicking a small beanbag in the air, trying not to let it touch the ground. He's not very successful. That new kid, the dog boy, Rex, showed me how to play this, he says, groaning as the beanbag hits the ground again. It's a lot harder than it looks. Found something you might like. Have a bobber fruit. Oh wow, that looks delicious, Cal exclaims. Thanks for the birthday gifts, Elaine. You know I love to eat. Alright. That we've read. Something new from our mom. Your mom and dad are taking a midday break in the shade of the trellis and wave you over as you approach. Slane, come here, your dad says, pulling up a crate with his foot and patting the top invitingly. Come spend some time with your old mom and pop. How's your day been? Not bad, alright, I guess. Extra solarly spectacular? That's a lot. I mean, I'm injured because I got radiation poisoning, so alright, I guess. Our fearless explorer, your mom drawls, taking a swig from her canteen. She wipes her mouth with the back of her hand and passes the canteen back to your dad. Made friends with any alien life forms yet? Your face goes on a journey. Friends with any... What? Do they know about Sim? How could they? Your parents chuckle at your expression. Wow, Selene, your dad says. You know, like the little hop eyes that sneak in, or a blip bug? Oh, those kinds of aliens. You thought for sure they were talking about Sim, but hey, while they're asking... nope. Just boring old humans. I'm not gonna rat out Sim. Your mom and dad nod and go back to their conversations. You sit with them for a while and share the canteen. It's iced bluff tea. You're not supposed to drink it because it makes you feel kind of buzzy, but it makes the rest of the afternoon fly by. Alright, we can do a couple of activities before we need to rest. Nothing that'll give us physical growth because, yeah. We're injured, so we wouldn't gain the physical bonuses. So, options. We could go here, study xenobotany, which will give us biology and organizing. We don't need the biology, but I'm pretty sure we are able to research that radioactive flower so that it doesn't bother us anymore. But that might be a bit of a waste of time. Or I want to do more stuff in the engineering lab. Keep working on that stuff. Like studying engineering. Reasoning, engineering, both would be good. Yeah, we'll study engineering. You and Nomi are doing independent study after hours when they stand up from their beanbag chair and do a little victory dance. Yes, they shout, it worked. Look, Selene. They throw something to your holoscreen. The intro for the game QQ Bishonen Kyusetsu comes up on screen, and Congruence's full room holoprojectors decorate the walls with a blue sky and rolling green hills. Heavy battle music fills your ears. Nomi claps their hand proudly. I installed it on the classroom mainframe, they exclaim. It's so much faster, there's no latency at all. Suddenly, the lights go out. Nomi screeches and hangs on to you in the dark. The lights flicker back on, but only for a few seconds at a time before going dark again. The temperature drops. The holoprojectors no longer display the lush meadows, but instead a ramshackle wooden cabin with various horrible implements hanging on the walls. Hello, children. Oh no, Nomi moans. I must have installed it into Congruence's memory. She's being affected by the game's code. Congruence's holoprojection appears in the middle of the room. She's facing away from you, but when she slowly turns around, you're horrified to see her face is smeared away and featureless. Do you want to play? Yes, or nope, get an adult. Sure, I'll play the game. An unnatural growling noise fills the room. Nomi squeaks and hides behind you, but it doesn't matter. The noise is everywhere, surrounding you. Congruence's holoprojected form flickers and becomes a shaggy manticore with glowing eyes, and then it's gone. A howl echoes off the walls. The hunt is on. You and Nomi fight your way through Congruence's holoprojected nightmare, encountering beasts the likes of which you've only seen in books from Earth. They stalk you through misty forests and trap you in dank-looking cellars. They scream and moan and cry and howl. You've never been so scared from a Hollow game. It feels so real. I didn't make this, Nomi says, their chest heaving as they look around for the next creature. This isn't even the game I installed. Congruence, the manticore, reappears, a ghoulish apparition. Is this what you wanted? No, Nomi screams. Selene, what do we do? Because I have engineering 30 or higher, I can fix congruence. I could apologize to congruence if I had any persuasion. My persuasion is just 8. Or ask the chief engineer instance for help. I'll just fix her. You use your holopalm to access congruence's system files. It's not, strictly speaking, allowed, but neither is installing game software into her brain. After a few minutes of hacking, you realize something doesn't add up. There's no trace of Nomi's game here. Congruence is a massively intelligent being. There's no way she would have allowed her base programming to be manipulated like this. The lights flicker back on, and Congruence's hollow projection smiles cheerily. You solved my puzzle, she chirps, and plays a recording of cheering and clapping. I thought simply telling you not to install unapproved software would be boring, she continues. You'll certainly remember this lesson. Nomi clutches their chest. Yeah, for sure, they say. I'm never doing that again. Alright. +1 to mental cards. 1 slot will turn cards mental blue. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Yeah. Meh. Oh well. Gained some more stress. Gained a bunch of engineering and reasoning. And friendship with Tangent and Nomi. That's nice. Moving on to Early Wet.